Johan Liebert is not just a villain, he is the echo of everything that went wrong with humanity. From the moment he appears in Monster, his presence feels unreal, almost mythical, like a ghost walking among the living. He doesn't scream, he doesn't rage, and he doesn't chase power loudly. Instead, he smiles softly while entire lives collapse behind him. Johan is frightening because he doesn't look frightening at all. What makes Johan terrifying is not his intelligence alone, but his emptiness. He doesn't kill out of anger or revenge. He kills to prove a philosophy, that humans are fragile, meaningless, and easily erased. His calm demeanor hides a soul that was never allowed to exist normally. He is not born a monster, he is shaped into one. Behind Johan's perfect appearance lies a childhood soaked in psychological torture, identity erasure, and emotional abandonment. His life is a long experiment conducted by adults who believed they were creating something superior. Instead, they created a void. Johan becomes the result of a world that treats children as tools rather than lives. Johan's story forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. What happens when a child is taught that they are replaceable? What happens when love is replaced with ideology? And what happens when someone grows up believing that their own existence is a mistake? Johan's actions are horrific, but their roots are tragically human. This is not the story of a genius serial killer. This is the story of a boy who was never allowed to be a boy. A boy whose name, face, and soul were stolen piece by piece. Johan Liebert is the monster created when the world forgets how to be kind. 1. Johan was stripped of his identity as a child. Johan was never allowed to exist as a single, defined person. His name was not permanent. His face was not unique. His identity was interchangeable. Children around him were swapped without explanation. This taught him that individuality was meaningless. He learned that names could be erased instantly. Faces could be replaced without guilt. Memories could be overwritten. No adult explained why this was happening. Silence became his teacher. Confusion became normal. Fear became background noise. When identity disappears, stability disappears with it. Johan stopped seeing himself as real. He began seeing himself as temporary. This planted the idea that existence itself was fragile. If identity can be erased, life can be erased too. He stopped asking who he was. He started observing what others were. People became objects of study. Not individuals. Not souls. Just replaceable entities. This was the first crack that never healed. 2. The Red Rose Mansion destroyed his sense of reality. The Red Rose Mansion was not a school. It was psychological torture disguised as education. Children were exposed to adult horror far too early. They heard stories no child should hear. Violence became language. Fear became routine. Reality blurred with fiction. Johan absorbed everything silently. He did not cry. He did not scream. He watched. Other children broke around him. Some lost their minds completely. No one saved them. No one stopped it. This taught Johan that suffering is allowed. That pain is acceptable if justified. Reality became something unstable. Truth became flexible. Horror became normal. Innocence disappeared quietly. Johan's mind adapted to survive. But survival came at a cost. He lost his sense of what was real. And what was human. 3. He was forced to witness atrocities. Johan did not imagine evil. He witnessed it. He saw children collapse mentally. He saw fear consume them slowly. He saw adults observe without emotion. No one intervened. No one protected them. This silence spoke louder than violence. It told him cruelty is tolerated. It told him pain is ignored. It told him morality is optional. He learned that screams change nothing. That tears hold no power. This shattered his trust in humanity. He stopped believing in help. He stopped believing in rescue. Survival became internal. Empathy became dangerous. He detached to endure. Watching suffering became routine. Death stopped shocking him. Pain stopped alarming him. Humans stopped feeling sacred. They became fragile creatures. Easy to destroy. 4. Love was replaced with experiments. Johan was never loved without conditions. Every adult had a purpose. Every interaction had an agenda. No one hugged him freely. No one asked how he felt. They observed him. Measured him. Tested him. Love was transactional. Affection was artificial. Trust never formed. When love has conditions, it is not love. Johan learned this early. He learned not to attach. Attachment meant vulnerability. Vulnerability meant pain. Pain was unavoidable. So he shut himself down. Emotions became weaknesses. Connection became dangerous. He learned to mimic warmth. Without feeling it. He learned to smile convincingly. Without joy behind it. Love became a concept, not an experience. 5. His sister became his emotional mirror / Anna was Johan's only emotional connection. She represented innocence. She represented fear. She represented vulnerability. Johan saw himself reflected in her. He wanted to protect her. He wanted to spare her suffering. He absorbed pain for her sake. He carried darkness so she wouldn't have to. This created imbalance. He became the shield. She became the fragile center. He internalized terror silently. He never expressed fear outwardly. Instead, he transformed it. Protection turned into control. Love turned into obsession. He believed only he could endure horror. This pushed him further into isolation. He separated himself emotionally. He accepted becoming the monster. So she could remain human. This choice shaped everything. It defined his future actions. And destroyed his inner self. 6. He learned humans are easily manipulated. Johan observed people closely. He studied reactions. He listened more than he spoke. He learned how fear works. He learned how guilt functions. He learned how despair spreads. Words became his weapon. He didn't force violence. He inspired it. He planted ideas. Watched them grow. People destroyed themselves willingly. This shocked him at first. Then it fascinated him. Humans required very little pressure. Their morals were fragile. Their stability was thin. Johan realized control didn't require strength. Only understanding. This deepened his contempt. He stopped seeing people as autonomous. They were predictable systems. Easy to trigger. Easy to collapse. Easy to erase. 7. He was taught that existence is replaceable. Children disappeared without explanation. Others took their place. Names were reassigned. Faces were reused. Johan internalized this deeply. If one child vanishes, another appears. Nothing truly changes. This taught him life is disposable. Existence has no weight. No permanence. No sacred value. If someone dies, someone else fills the gap. This belief destroyed empathy. Death became neutral. Loss became abstract. Meaning collapsed entirely. Johan stopped valuing survival. Including his own. He believed non-existence was natural. Even preferable. This philosophy guided his actions. Killing wasn't cruel. It was logical. Life was temporary anyway. So why protect it? 8. Emotional numbness became survival. Pain overwhelmed Johan early. To survive, he shut down emotionally. Feeling less meant hurting less. Crying stopped. Fear dulled. Joy vanished. Numbness took over. This became his default state. Emotions felt foreign. Dangerous. Unnecessary. Detachment provided safety. Observation replaced participation. He became a watcher. Not a participant. This protected him temporarily. But it hollowed him permanently. He lost emotional feedback. Right and wrong blurred. Pleasure and pain flattened. Human connection felt distant. Artificial. Unreachable. Numbness became comfort. And comfort became prison. 9. He saw adults as hypocrites. Adults preached morality loudly. Then committed atrocities quietly. They spoke of justice. Then ignored suffering. They taught rules. Then broke them. Johan noticed everything. Authority lost credibility. Morality felt performative. Empty. Selective. He stopped believing in ethical systems. Rules existed only for control. Not compassion. This destroyed his respect for society. Institutions became meaningless. Justice became illusion. He rejected imposed values. Created his own philosophy. One rooted in observation. Not belief. He trusted actions, not words. Words lied constantly. Actions revealed truth. And truth was ugly. 10. Nihilism was introduced too early. Children need hope to develop healthily. Johan was given philosophy instead. Concepts of meaninglessness replaced dreams. He learned life had no inherent value. Purpose was an illusion. Hope was deception. This entered his mind too young. Before emotional grounding formed. Nihilism became his foundation. Not a conclusion. Existence felt empty. Achievements felt pointless. Connection felt temporary. Death felt inevitable. This worldview removed fear. But also removed joy. Nothing mattered deeply. Everything was replaceable. This justified cruelty. It justified indifference. It justified destruction. Without meaning, there is no restraint. Only curiosity. Only experimentation. Only emptiness. 11. He wanted to prove the world was rotten. Johan believed humanity was corrupt. But belief wasn't enough. He wanted evidence. Proof. He orchestrated situations. Watched people fail morally. They disappointed him every time. Greed surfaced quickly. Fear dominated decisions. Cowardice outweighed compassion. Each collapse validated his worldview. Each death confirmed his philosophy. He didn't feel surprise. Only confirmation. This reinforced his actions. He wasn't creating evil. He was revealing it. People destroyed themselves willingly. He merely opened the door. This gave him a sense of certainty. Certainty replaced doubt. Doubt could lead to hope. He rejected hope entirely. Rot felt universal. And inevitable. 12. Murder became philosophical, not emotional. Johan didn't kill in rage. He killed calmly. Each death was symbolic. A statement. A question. Did this life matter? The silence afterward answered him. Society moved on quickly. Grief faded. Systems continued. No life left a permanent mark. This reinforced his belief. Death felt weightless. Meaningless. He felt no pleasure. No guilt. Only observation. Murder became a tool. Not an impulse. Not revenge. Just demonstration. He removed lives as experiments. Measured impact. Found none. And continued. 13. He saw himself as the only one awake. Johan believed others lived in illusion. Comforting lies. False meanings. Religious hope. Social narratives. He rejected them all. He saw himself as awake. Aware of emptiness. Alone in clarity. This isolated him deeply. Connection felt impossible. Others clung to meaning. He saw through it. This created superiority. But also loneliness. He stood apart mentally. Emotionally distant. Watching humanity sleepwalk. He didn't want followers. He wanted confirmation. Confirmation that illusion ruled. And truth was unbearable. This mindset justified isolation. He embraced solitude. Even when it hurt. Johan Liebert is not evil for the sake of being evil. He is the result of prolonged emotional starvation. His actions are unforgivable, but their origins are deeply tragic. Understanding him does not excuse him, it explains him. Monster forces us to confront how easily innocence can be destroyed. Johan is what happens when intelligence grows without love. When survival replaces humanity. When children are treated as ideas instead of lives. Johan's story is disturbing because it feels possible. There is no magic, no supernatural curse. Only neglect, manipulation, and silence. The real monster is the system that created him. He serves as a warning, not just a character. A reminder that emotional cruelty leaves scars deeper than physical wounds. That ignoring suffering does not erase it, it transforms it. In the end, Johan Liebert is not asking to be understood. He is asking whether the world ever deserved someone like him. And that question is what makes Monster unforgettable.